Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Sylvia. I hope you're all doing amazing. As promised, I'm back with one more vlog on the cabin crew job. I'm going to tell you in detail what these terms mean. I'm sure you have heard different terminologies like cabin crew, flight attendant, air hostess, and many people ask what are the male stewards called and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about all of that in detail, and I'm going to give you a brief about what this job is all about. A lot of interesting stuff coming up, you guys. But before that, if you're new to my channel and this is your very first time watching me, I do recommend hitting the subscribe button and pressing the little bell icon next to it so you get a notification every time I upload. So without further delay, let's get started. First of all, guys, I'm really sorry about my voice. I'm sure you can tell I have a sore throat and it has been this way for almost 20-25 days. I'm on medication, and to be very honest, I actually thought I was COVID positive. So I took almost 2 tests at a gap of 15 days over the past 20 days, and but it's not that, thankfully. It's just bronchitis, and yeah, the medications have been helping. I have been flying a lot. Again, that is another reason, when you have a sore throat, you need to rest your voice for it to get better. I haven't been able to do that as well. December is usually the holiday season, and we fly a lot, so all of that given together. In fact, I am about to go for a flight. My flight got delayed and I had this time, and I thought, why not record something, and that is going to help you guys as well. So coming back to the topic, what is the difference between a cabin crew? Or first, let's talk about what is cabin crew. So cabin crew are basically everybody who works on a flight. The job in an aircraft is divided. So there is flight deck, which is also called the cockpit crew, and then there is the cabin crew. Cabin is basically where the passengers sit, and that is called the cabin. So anybody who works in this cabin, be it a senior, be it a junior, be it an experienced crew, they're all together as a formation called cabin crew. Now, if you are aspiring to become one, please learn to say this term correctly. It is not cabin crew, it is not cabin crew, it is not cabin crew, it is just cabin crew. Okay, crew as in CRU, maybe that's how you put it. So the term cabin crew for the whole set of crew. However, long ago, we were also referred to as, so this is back in the 1960s, so people used to refer to crew as air stewardesses and air stewards. So stewards and stewardesses are very much gender divided. However, because we do the same kind of job, in 1970s the term was formed, which was made to flight attendants. So anybody for that matter is a flight attendant. It could be a purser who is the senior most, then there could be flight attendants, there could be cabin supervisors. So all of them are flight attendants. Okay, so there is not much of a basic difference, but we do not use the term air stewardess or stewardesses anymore. Also, I know you have heard like there are certain institutions which refer to crew as air hostesses. Again, hostess is somebody who is just there to host you. Host, air hostess, or somebody who's just there to host you. So you're a host, and like we are the host and you're the guest. That is the relative definition. However, over the years, the role of a cabin crew or the role of a flight attendant has evolved a lot. Now we are just not people who host you and get you water and drinks and food. It encircles or encompasses a much bigger picture. We deal with a lot of things. So our basic responsibility, why we are put on an aircraft, is basically to operate the doors and get you out of that aircraft within 90 seconds using only half of the exits of that aircraft in case something goes wrong. Having said that, let me explain what it means. So if you see any aircraft, mostly all the commercial airlines, they use Q400s, ATRs, which are the smaller propeller sort of aircraft. I'm going to put some pictures so you can relate to what I'm talking about. And then there are Airbus and Boeing. So I guess the giants would definitely be Airbus and Boeing, because most of the airlines, they use it. And both of these companies, okay, I will not say both of these companies because I haven't read it, but the aircrafts that I have flown in, which would mostly be 320, 321, 777, 380, Boeing 737, 300, Boeing 737, 800, Boeing 737, 900 extended range. All of these have been certified to be able to evacuate all of the, like, even if it's a full occupancy on flight, in case something goes wrong, the cabin crew will be able to evacuate all of them using only half of the cabin exits. So by cabin exits, let's say if I take a 320 for an example, which is basically the aircraft that you fly when you take an Indigo, let's say for example if you're in India, or majorly most of the airlines, that's the one that you use. Even I fly a 320 and 321. We only have one type of an aircraft. We're going to talk about aircraft specifics later, but just to give you a brief, so there are total 8 cabin exits in these aircrafts, and even if we use just 4, let's say God forbid for some reason some of the exits are blocked, we will be able to evacuate you. So you're in safe hands. So mostly our prime responsibility is safety and security, and then comes service and comfort. However, because passengers do not really encounter that side of us on an everyday basis, they mostly mistake it as something else. So hence the term was reformed to flight attendants or cabin crew. So cabin crew is the most apt terminology. So when you see, mostly when you see the vacancies of different airlines or whatever, they always mention cabin crew jobs, right? Okay, so this is about that. Now coming back to what does this job really need from you, or what does this job really require from you? Let me tell you, as an individual, as an adult, most of the airlines, especially in India, they hire you at the age of 18, okay? And international, you have to be a minimum of 21 to be able to apply for this job. But personally, I started flying at a very, very young age, and I did not even finish my studies. That is a story of another time to tell you, and I will tell you about it. But my personal advice to you, please do finish your graduation before you start flying. Indigo, SpiceJet, Go Air, all of these airlines, or even for that matter, I'm sure Vistara and I guess the other airlines in India, they hire you even at 18. International doesn't. So you're just fresh out of college, out of school rather, and you go into flying and you're getting paid a huge amount of money. And the amount of responsibility that is going to be vested on you is something which I wasn't ready for. This is my experience. Some people are much more matured given their age. Some people aren't. And I was the only child for 9 years. So my outlook towards life was very different. Even though I have had a lot of struggle before I actually got into this job, but I still did not realize what this job actually required out of me. So when I talk about being a cabin crew, the job does not necessarily involve just wearing a very, sleek uniform and getting ready, being beautiful and walking the airports. That is all the fun stuff. The tough part is once you're actually on board, or sometimes even before, you have to be ready mentally to get up at any time of the day. This is when your flight is rostered. Be aware that there can be times where your flight schedules change. You have to be ready for any ad hoc situation. You can have plans, but they might not just work out. You will miss out on a lot of social life, on a lot of birthdays of your best friends, weddings, holidays. But that is what we do, and that is what we are deciding to do. So my advice to you is definitely finish your studies and do a lot of research work before you actually think of applying for a cabin crew job. I'll tell you my part of the story. I was a very intellectual student. I still am. I just didn't finish my studies yet. I'm doing it from distance. But I was a person who didn't like to study much. And I thought that, at the age of 18, that I'm getting a job that's going to pay me so well. So why not just skip studies and go and start working? But guys, when I tell you this, believe me, we have operations manual, or call it the CSPM, or whatever you want to call it. It's basically the Bible for crew. Every airline has its own procedures and manual, operations manual, and it differs. But any airline that I've worked for, and I've worked for almost 3 to 4 airlines, the size of the book is this thick. You might not know your religious book by heart. I might not know Quran, Gita, Guru Granth Sahib, or Bible by heart, but this OME is something you will have to know by heart. And having said that, it's not easy. You will be undergoing a training of 7 to 10 weeks, and it's intensive training, especially if you haven't flown before. If you're an experienced crew, of course, you know what I'm talking about. It's not easy. So if you are somebody who just wants to come to fly thinking that, it's going to save me from studies, be very, very alarmed. It's not. You are going to study this day in and day out, and you have to know this book by heart for the rest of your flying career, as long as you are in an airline. You will have updates coming in, which are revisions, and that you need to know by heart as well. You will have annual exams, which are called recurrent exams, for which you need to study. And also, let me give you a spoiler, the passing mark for all of these exams are 80 to 90%. If you score anything less, they give you another chance. You score less in that, you're given the last chance, and then you're out of the company. And most of these airlines charge you, especially in India. If you're going to join any airline, there is a deposit, security deposit, of which are sometimes refundable and non-refundable depending on the airline, which could range between 50 to 1,20,000 any day. Now you're going to ask me, do you actually need to have a prior training before joining any airline? Do you have to go to an air hostess training institute or whatever? The answer is no. You do not need to, because any airline that you go to will have their specific set of rules about how they function, and they are going to train you irrespective. So you do not really need to invest the money twice. Once in an air hostess training academy, and then again when you go to join an airline. It's not required. They will train you up to their standards, and they will make sure that you are ready for the job before they actually put you on board. I think I'm going to stop here about the information. I do not want to give you an information overload at the very first time. We're going to have more of these vlogs, and we're going to talk in detail about probably in the next video I can tell you how you can apply for a job, and what kind of courses you're looking forward to, and how you can brush up your personality and stuff like that. Let this information sink in. I would also recommend reading about the cabin crew job in detail, and definitely refer to my video, and stay tuned. More such videos coming up, and I hope these are going to help you. So do share it with your friends and family, whoever wants to become a cabin crew. And I will see you next time. I hope you have an amazing time and happy holidays. Bye bye.